My name is Mr. Philip Umar, the Chief Executive Officer of Umar & Sons Grains Dynamic Concept Limited. I just want to give a little light as to what the company is all about, particularly so that our intending investors can have more clarity as to what they are investing into or what they are to invest into. So Umar & Sons Grains Dynamic Concept Limited, which is also called US Grains, and in Hausa basically we are known as Company Mai Inganci. It's an agric-based company that is basically and primarily into agricultural activities. And we have 4 different aspect areas of our operations. The first one is what we call stocking. So under this stocking, it basically has to do with buying grains during harvest, store it, and much later when price goes up, we sell. So under this aspect, people put in their money. The company is responsible for buying and then storing. So by the time we buy and store, when we sell the grains, we share the profit. The company takes only 40%, a paltry 40%, while the investors are given 60%. And in fact, for those that invest with, from 5 million to less than 10 million, they receive 65%, while the company just take, 35%. And for those that invest from 10 million to less than 20 million, they are given, 70%, while the company just take 30%. And for those that invest from 20 million upward, they are given 75%, while the company just take 25%. And the company is responsible, like I said, for the storage, the security of the storage, the safety of the grains and all that. So that is all about stocking. And I assure you it's a very wonderful business because basically grains at harvest, the price used to be very low because of the excess of supply above demand. And then much later in the dry season and subsequently into the farming season, the price, basically it's a very amazing deal. So subsequently the price will go up. So then we sell. And that is all about stocking. And the second aspect, which is what we call short-term loan scheme to farmers. So under this aspect, we give our farmers loans or farm inputs, when the farming season is about to begin. And, under our close supervision with our field officers, they cultivate, and then at harvest, they pay us back either with the grains or with money. So we give them, the loan scheme is basically into 2. There's the farm input and then there's a cash loan. We give them both cash and farm input. And our farmers, we give them the leverage to farm whatever they want. But then the most important thing is we supervise them, we ensure that they actually do the farming. So at harvest, they pay us back. Now under this aspect, whatever an investor invests with, he has 20%, absolute assurance of getting 20%. So under this aspect, the return is basically 20%. But if an investor is investing huge, maybe from 5 million, 10 million and above, we can renegotiate the interest rate. But basically that is it. And I want to assure you this one too is also a very amazing deal. So that is the second aspect, which we call short-term loan scheme to farmers. Basically our farmers are located in some part of Kaduna State, Kano and Katsina State. In Kaduna State, we have them in Ikara, in Makarfi, in Igabi, in Giwa, in Kauru, and Sabongari local government areas. And then, of course, in Katsina, we have them largely concentrated within Bakori local government area. And then, of course, in Kano State, we have them located largely in areas of Tidumada local government area. Yeah, so basically that is it. And of course we have our offices located at, in Zaria, we have our office located at number 42 AA Plaza along Sokoto Road, Samaru, Zaria. And then in Giwa, we have our offices located in the, number 1, Giwa Market, Giwa local government area of Kaduna State. And then of course in number 1, Sabalai, Jambaba, town of Giwa local government area of Kaduna State. And in Ikara, you can find us number 2, GRA Road, Ikara local government area of Kaduna State. So that is the second aspect, and then the third aspect is what we call trading. Now under this aspect, we buy grains and we supply to other companies such as Olam, FX, Loribian. All right. So by the time we supply these grains to the companies, when they pay us the profit, we share it 50-50 with our investors. So before we supply, actually the companies do give us price, and of course they buy per weight. So by the time they give us the price, we analyze based on market price and see whether we are going to make profit. So based on our calculations, with our experience in the business, we now buy from the market and supply. So before buying, we already know what the companies will buy. And even though we do buy according to bags, not according to weight, but at least we know the average weight of whether it's maize, soya beans, rice, paddy rice, or whichever type of grain. At least we have an average idea of what the price. Sometimes we even take sample, so at least so that we can be able to estimate whether whatever profit we are going to get. So and we inform our investors. By the way, all our investors are in a particular online platform where we keep updates of prices and all our operations. So based on that estimation we supply, and after the grains are weighed, and of course we are able to know the exact profit. So whatever the profit is, we share it equally with our investors. And our operations are very, very transparent, because grains, price of grains are things you can verify in terms of from the market. Because although there are many markets around, such as Giwa markets of grains and Ikara, Makarfi, all in Kaduna State, the major market we buy, and even Suba. So, but you can actually verify when we give prices, and even the companies, there are companies that are known. You can verify when we tell you, okay, this is the price they are buying. These are things that are very open and transparent. So basically, that is it about trading aspect, which is the third aspect of our operations. And still under this trading, we also buy and sell, farm input to farmers like fertilizer. So, an intending investor can put in his resources here, his capital. We buy, you can even invest in terms of buying the fertilizer directly yourself. So once we sell the fertilizer to the farmers, the profits we earn, we share it equally. So basically that is that about trading. So then the last aspect of our operations, the fourth aspect, is what we call crops cut. The fourth aspect of our operations is what we call crop cultivation or farming. So this one has to do with the actual farming itself. As a company, we do rent farmlands in some of the communities we operate, and then we cultivate them directly ourselves. Now, under this aspect, investors put in their capital too. So if you invest under this aspect, by the time we cultivate these farmlands, right from the renting, the tilling, up to harvest, so the output from those farmlands, we sell them, and we're able to calculate the profit based on what we spent from beginning to the end, plus the rent fee and the cost of the produce gotten from such farmlands. Now the profit is also shared 50-50. So an intended investor can decide that, okay, he will pay for a particular farmland from renting to the entire process, such that whatever output gotten from that farmland, the profit is shared equally, or you can just invest with whatever amount. So if you put together, let's say, an amount of 10 million, so we rent different farmlands with that 10 million that can be able to sufficiently cultivate those number of farmlands. So at the end of the harvest season, the volume of output gotten from those farmlands, we look at, okay, how many bags of, if it is maize, how many bags, but basically, even on this aspect, it's maize and rice as a major emphasis. So how many bags of maize do we get? So the number of bags of maize we get, if let's say, okay, all of it put together will give us, let's say, 10, maybe let's say 13 million. So that means the profit gotten is 3 million. So it is that 3 million that will be shared 50-50 with our investors. And then that means 1.5 million will go to our investors, 1.5 to the company. So that 1.5 million is shared proportionally among the investors according to the volume of their investment. Basically, that is that about our last aspect of operations. So you can see that US Grains is really a company for you to invest. Farming is very amazing. In fact, let me tell us there are three basic reasons why, in my opinion, farming or agriculture is the most important sector at the moment. Number one, you see, agriculture is an irreplaceable, business. There is nothing that can replace agriculture. You see, there are some businesses that, with the function, with the advancement in information and communication technology, they will be outphased, but not agriculture. You see, even in the period of war and crisis, people still have to eat. So that makes agriculture very, very interesting. And the other, reason for me is because, you see, agriculture, it has been in existence, right from antiquity. It's the only business that started from the very foundation of this world. So you can see it's a very, correct deal for you to invest your money in. And lastly, because particularly our specific aspect of our operation, in fact, US Grain is structured in such a way that you just cannot lose your money, because there are different aspects to invest. So even if you, let's say you lose on this aspect, the other aspect can bring you up. For instance, let's say you invest on the stocking, and then we stock grains and there's no much profit. Remember, we buy the grains at harvest, basically November, December, January. So by the time we buy the grains and we sell them at the month of May, June, so it is that volume of investment that you can choose to reinvest to on the farmer's loan, which is within that May, down to harvest again. So you can see that with US Grains, your money will never ever stay idle. So it's really a very good deal that I want to enjoy everyone to invest. And our location is very strategic. The location we choose, where we operate. In fact, Nigeria is one of the largest producer of grains. Nigeria is the 10th largest producer of maize, for instance, and the second largest in Africa. And more specifically, Kaduna State, northern part of Kaduna, where we operate, Kaduna State, Ikara, Makarfi, Kubo, Saminaka, these areas are the largest producer of maize, of grains, cereals, maize, beans, and the rest of them. So you can see the choice of our location is very amazing. So you are, sure to make a wonderful deal, wonderful return if you invest with us. Thank you so much.
Establishment shots. Yeah, white shots.
Good afternoon. This is one of the stores of Umar and Sons Grains Dynamic Concept Limited. The company has many stores where we aggregate. This is one of the community where we aggregate with our farmers. And so this is Gwari Yaya Dauda, one of our agents in the community, who is in charge of buying the grains. So I'll just take you into to see the sample of some of the grains. Largely, like we mentioned always in some of our, advertisements, that maize is one of the major grains. Maize and rice and soya beans, and then cowpea, that is white beans, are the major grains that we deal with. So as we get into, you'll see some of the grains that we are into. As mentioned in our business prospectus, the different aspects that we operate. So the one that deals largely with grains, the aspect that we buy grains to store, at harvest, then much later when price goes up, we sell. So this is how we buy the grains and we stock it. As you can see, this is some of the chemicals we apply in the store to ensure that pests did not affect the grains. And then also, we explained that we used to give farmers farm input loan, at the beginning of farming season, so that they farm, then at the end, they pay us back with the grains. So these are the samples of some of the grains. As we give them the farm input like fertilizer and the rest of them, then at the end of the harvest, they pay us back with the grains. So we stock the grains like this in order to ensure that the grains are kept securely. Now, for some of us that are following market, happenings, you will recover that grains used to be sold, maize used to be sold even as low as 15,000 naira, 16, at harvest. So as we buy it, we store it, and this maize, you can see it is very qualitative. You can see it. By the time we are selling, we can sell it as much as 30,000 naira. So it is that profit that we share with our investors. We just take a paltry of 40%, while the investor will give him 60%. So these are what we do basically in US Grains. And like I said, this is just one of the stores. There are so many. So this is one of our investors who we actually come along with to the community. so that you know, he will see by himself his investment. You know, so and of course we came here with a number of our staff also, just so that you know, some of the staff has really nothing to do with the villages, the communities, because we have staff for different purposes, but we just came with as many as we can, just so that they will see the grains, the information they are documenting on papers and the system, so that they can see it by themselves. So this is all to let you know that investment in US Grains is awesome. It's just awesome. You just cannot but invest in US Grains because it's highly profitable. Thank you so much.
Good day, fellow customers. At this very moment, we want to share with you what we do in US Grains. The basic areas where we operate in US Grains are stocking, crop production, and also short-term loans. The crop production, what we do is that there is a certain amount of money where you invest with us and we produce the grains, we cultivate that, and at the end there is a sharing percentage in which we have for both the investor and also the company. And the other one is also stocking of grains, whereby you invest with us, we use the money to buy grains and stock it in the store. We monitor it to monitor its quality from insects and also other contaminations. Then at the end, due to price rise, when we sell, the interest is also being shared at a certain agreed percentage depending on what you invest. Also, we do give short loans to farmers. That is monetary aspect. Not necessarily farmers, even business people that are in need of some short, that are in need of money for some short periods of time. Thereby, we give them 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and there is an interest of 10% per month, depending on the amount you collected. We do that very well, and a lot of our clients are so happy about it. This is one of the places whereby we store our grains, especially for those who stock. This is one of our stores here in one of our areas, whereby a lot of investors gave their money, and we have invested a lot for this year. We have bought a lot of grains, and so far so good. Things are going on fine. A time will come whereby we are going to sell this, and we will share the profit as agreed during the contract. So thank you so much. You can contact us anytime you want to hear from us or you want to have more knowledge about how we operate. Thank you so much. Muna nan ne za mu yi bayani akan yadda ayyukan wannan kamfani yake tafiya, wato US Grains. Takaice shine inganci shine namu. A cikin ayyukan da muke yi musamman a cikin wannan bana shine mukan ba da bashi ga manoma, kuma yadda muke ba da bashin nan shine duk hekta guda mutum na son kayan hekta za mu bashi bahu 8, wato bahu 5 na urea da bahu 3 na kamfa. Daga nan kuma mutum zai shigar da kuɗi naira 20,000 bayan ya sai form akan naira 1,000. In kuma Allah ya yarda bayan ƙarshen shekara zai iya ba mu biyan mu bashin mu da bahunan masara kamar da kuka gani anan, ko kuma ya bada kuɗi bisa ga daidai kuɗin kayan masara. Misali a cikin kayan bahunan nan 8 da aka bashi, ko da yake a yanzu ba mu riga mun fitar da farashi ba, in kayan 8 nan gaba ɗaya tashi a naira 100,000 ne, to daga ƙarshen da kaka kenan zai ba da rabin kuɗin da wannan kuɗin da aka bashi. Wato in an bashi na 100,000 ne zai ba da 150,000. In kayan da aka bashi na 100,000 ne zai ba da kuɗi na 150,000. In kuma ya ga ba kuɗin yake so ya bayar ba, zai ba da masara ne, to zai iya ba mu da masara wata darajar ta kai daidai 150,000 a wannan lokaci. To haka muke yin aiki, ɗaya daga ciki kenan. Na biyu kuma mukan ba manoma kuɗi, wato in mutum na bukatar kuɗi ne ba taki yake so ba, za a iya bashi naira 100,000 duk hekta guda. Shi ma 100,000 nan kafin a bashi 100,000 zai bada 20,000 bayan ya sai fam akan naira 1,000. Daga ƙarshe kuma zai biya naira 150,000. To waɗannan su ne cikin ayyukan da muke domin taimakon manoma a wannan shekara. Mun gode.